Hello everybody and welcome back to more political chatter. In this video we will be talking about this new Roanoke College poll that shows Donald Trump and Joe Biden tied in the state of Virginia. Now this is huge. If Virginia goes blue, the election, considering how the rest of the country would go, would be just about over. Virginia went to Biden by over 10 percentage points in 2020, 10.5% to be exact, somewhere around there. And today, this poll shows Trump and Biden tied when head to head. So, at least in Virginia, according to this poll, Joe Biden is doing 10% worse than he was doing back in 2020, losing about 1/5 of his support. 1/5 is huge, especially in a presidential election that's going to be so close. Now, I'll mind you, this poll is mostly out of the ordinary. We see here that Biden has led every single poll, every single recent poll conducted in the state. And also, I will mind you, when Kennedy and Jill Stein, when Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Jill Stein, Independent and Green Party, are both included in the poll, Biden expands to 2. But right now, Kennedy is not on the ballot in Virginia. I don't know if he will be by November. Probably, but maybe not. And Jill Stein, I assume, is on the ballot, but she might not be as well. But in the head-to-head, Biden and Trump tied. And this comes after there were multiple polls conducted that went, kind of viral, at least around the political world, on social media, that showed a very tight race. We have 3 Donald Trump-sponsored polls, so those will favor Trump a little bit, people assumed. But there was a poll conducted right before that from an independent not super PAC, but just a political action committee, and it showed Biden only up by 1. And then you had 3 more polls. Biden only up by 3, by 1, and then by 4. And today we have a Trump versus Biden head-to-head poll that has the race tied, even 50-50. And this comes after the Trump campaign has been making it very clear that they want to target blue areas. They are going to be targeting. They are going to be targeting. They're trying to make inroads in traditionally Democratic areas. And like you see a couple days ago, where Trump was actually campaigning in the Bronx, which he won 15% of the vote of. He won in Bronx County, he won 15% of the vote to Biden's 85 back in 2020, and he decided to hold a rally there. He held a rally in New Jersey. He is trying to make inroads in these traditionally blue states because, if he is able to pick off a blue state, and I made a video about this recently, go check that out, Donald Trump's unexpected path to victory that nobody is talking about. If he can chip off a single blue state, whether it be York, he would hope, it almost guarantees a win for Trump. I mean, if he is able to unexpectedly chip off a state from the Biden column, a traditionally safe blue state or close to a safe blue state, then that would almost guarantee the victory if he has a good result or somewhat good result in the swing states. So this is an interesting strategy to say the least. We really have not had any sort of strategy like this ever in recent political history. I mean, when has a presidential candidate targeted the states that they are most unlikely going to win? Right? It's just logically. It doesn't make much sense, but if he is able, that's the thing, if he is able to just get lucky and chip off a state, then he will be able to win the election a whole lot easier. So that's the strategy right now. He is hitting blue areas of the country. He's hitting blue regions. And, courting minorities, as you see there, not necessarily applicable to Virginia, but that's talking about states like New York and New Jersey with big urban areas. But as for Virginia, this was really unexpected. I made a video about how I do believe that Donald Trump definitely has a shot to win. Traditionally Democratic states like New Hampshire, or Minnesota, or New Mexico, states that voted for Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden in 2016 and 2020. There were a few that I thought, Trump would have a shot at winning. But I did not think Virginia. And that's because in the Republican primary result, where Nikki Haley did well, proved that there are quite a few Republicans and conservative-leaning independents who despise Trump and would never vote for Trump. I mean, Virginia, around Washington, D.C., around the DMV area, we have well-educated, wealthy, white voters who voted for Hillary Clinton in the primary, probably despite being Republicans and independents, voted for Joe Biden in 2020 over Donald Trump. And, after all of these trials, after Trump's rhetoric and how he speaks and everything, they are never going to vote for Trump. So that's what I thought. But Virginia, I guess he is, gaining support among those people or elsewhere, probably elsewhere in the state, maybe running his numbers up in the rural areas or making inroads in other rural areas, urban areas or the suburbs. Probably not the suburbs, actually, but the more urban areas it seems like Donald Trump is trying to make inroads in. But I did think previously that, the suburbs around Washington, D.C., they would be solid for Joe Biden after all of these trials and everything. And I did not think that Trump would win. And this polling is a continuation of this trend that we are seeing. Now, look, this poll is from a long time ago. It starts at about October of 2023. Or this graph, is from a long time ago. But you can see here recently, right at about April, or even before April, right, it was just about tied for a while. And this was when it was looking really good for the Biden campaign. But since then, Donald Trump has been able to kind of reverse this trend again. I know it's so small, but this can lead to much bigger. But that's nationally. You see it much more clearly when you go state by state. But I do want to emphasize how important Virginia would be. First of all, if it does really get close and multiple polls show it tied or Trump leading or Biden up by a point, then that means that both campaigns have to start putting money, resources, and time into Virginia, which of course affects everything. That throws everything off, from time and money in the Rust Belt or in the Sun Belt, Nevada, Arizona, Georgia. These typical swing states might actually, or Virginia might join them. And that's how it used to be. It was only in 2020, really, or after 2020, that it stopped being considered a swing state. In 2016, Hillary only won it by about 3.5%, and Obama won it by less than that. He only won it by 2% or something like that in 2012. So, Virginia joining the swing states, of course, affects the entire campaign. But what if Virginia does go red? That's the question. So, filling in this electoral map, we're just filling in the safe states here, because it throws everything off. As I said, it really boosts Trump's chances in the election. But it would be, Biden already has to come back from a lot right now. Given his stance in the country, given his approval rating and everything, he has a lot to prove in the 2024 election. And again, he has a lot to come back on. But looking at the electoral map here, we have all of our safe or almost states, or almost safe states filled in. And then as for states like Florida, North Carolina, very, very likely to go Republican at this point. Minnesota absolutely leans Democratic. Nebraska second definitely leans Democratic. And New Mexico definitely leans Democratic. Again, these are states, Nebraska second, Minnesota, New Mexico, New Hampshire. These are states where Donald Trump could win. But as of right now, Joe Biden is definitely favored to win. No one is denying that. And I do think that Donald Trump is favored a lot to win in Georgia. And I think Arizona right now, even though Nevada, I said Georgia and what? I don't know. Georgia and Nevada. Nevada went to Biden by 2.4%, which is a healthy margin back in 2020. But that being said, this state is trending so much to the right, especially with the high Latino population. Latinos are, registering Republican in historic numbers like never seen before among the Latino community. But you see there that Donald Trump is already at 270, right? With just Georgia and Nevada. If Virginia does go red in that case, then all Trump would need is Georgia and Nevada, which he probably gets. And if he doesn't get it there, then he's getting it in Wisconsin, right? Nevada could go blue, but Wisconsin is probably going to go red. So if Virginia did go red, what Biden would have to do is considering Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, right? Our 6 core swing states. Out of those, I think it is very fair to say Georgia is the most likely to go to Donald Trump, flip to Donald Trump. All of these were Biden states in 2020. So that being said, with just Georgia going red, Donald Trump is at 264. If he wins any other swing state, then he wins the election. So if Virginia goes red, and assuming Georgia goes red as well, Biden would have to win Nevada, Arizona, Wisconsin, which is such a feat, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and in that case, he wins by 10 electoral votes. So thank you all for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. That always helps out a lot. Again, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all later.